Okay, so I wanted to get kind of a good close-up of the damage before I started working on it. You can see it's pushed in pretty far. And also the door. The inner structure is not bent. It just kind of got puckered under the rubber as it pushed that in. So I'm going to try to straighten this out too. My goal with this is not perfection, but I don't want to damage the paint any worse than it already is. So I'm going to try to keep all these original panels. Kind of what makes it look a lot worse than it really is this flange being twisted under. This part of the body is about 2.5 inches in from where it should be. So I just got done building a kind of a special hook. I have a pretty big monster slide hammer, and I built this. It'll reach around and get into a spot I can pull on. So I'm going to start with this and see if I can bump it back out into shape. I may also build a different attachment here so I can hook this to the winch on my other Samurai and maybe pull it that way if this doesn't do it. So I will do a little work on this and show you what happens. All right, here's my setup. Been pulling on this for about 5 minutes. Got a snatch block. Slow it down and give it more power. Just slowly pulling this out. Found the deepest part and pulled on it, and then kind of went back and forth, go evenly. Just going real slow and careful. See, I made this setup. Originally I made this hook, it screws to my slide hammer, but it just didn't have enough oomph. So then I made this attachment that screws in so I could hook to the winch, and made this hook to reach around the backside of this lip because it's kind of got a natural like valley that I can hook into right up in here. So I'm just slowly going back and forth, trying to work that back into the right shape. And then I need to get inside and pull the seatbelt winder out, and that gives pretty good access to this. And then I'll slowly start knocking this out. But it's already considerably better. So I'm gonna keep goofing around and see how she gets. Okay, it's been a couple days and I've done a little more work off camera. You know, after you saw me do the pulling with the winch, I did a little more work on the fender flare flange, and I got it straight enough to get the flare stuck back on. As you can see, it got a little beat up in the accident, but it's mostly just the paint got ripped off. There's a little weird spot here I'm going to try to reshape with some heat, but you know, it's in good shape other than just needing to be sanded and repainted. So I got that stuck back on. You can see it's got a ways to go, but sighting down it, it's a whole lot better. You don't see the whole tire anymore like you used to. So I got that stuck on, and then I replaced the bumper. Got a new used to me bumper and end cap. So I got that put on. Not in 100% perfect shape, but it's pretty good. I've got to get another marker light. It didn't have a marker light on this side, so I got to get some get a marker light. I've got some other flares, actually from this car, so I'm going to replace this one because when I first picked this car up, the tailpipe was pushed in, and it was burning the flap, and was rattling on the shackle, which was pretty irritating. So that was the first thing I did when I picked up, is yank that thing out. And I think when I did that, I broke something inside the muffler because it rattles pretty bad. Basically from the tailpipe all the way up to the catalytic converter, that's all been replaced at some point, and it's not the best quality stuff. So I'm going to put a new exhaust on it at some point. You can see it's looking a fair bit better. I'm taking my time. I'm trying not to do too much at once, you know, because you can pretty easily go too far and do more damage than good. So doing little bits, doing more research on this kind of work, because like I said, I'm not a professional bodywork guy, but we're getting it. In the next video, I'm gonna pull the seats and pull the front half of the carpet, or maybe even all the carpet. We'll see. Pull this interior panel out, and you know, the seat belt. Let's see if I can get it better. That seat belt winder mechanism there. That opens up a real big hole and gives you access to that dent. I'm not sure how much I'll get with this panel, but I'll pull it out as well. And then while I have the panel out, they're kind of wrinkly in a couple spots, so I want to pull the slack out of that and re-glue them, get these in real good shape. So that's next on the to-do list. It'll be in the next video, and then we'll have the carpet out. It's got the typical sloppy shifter situation going on. I think the pin's broken, and so the guy I got it from was real cool, and he had been collecting some parts to do work on this thing, and he had a brand new shift tower with the later upgraded design with the bigger pin and stuff. So it's a lot easier to do with the carpet out, so you're not having to stretch the carpet out to get to the bolts. So once I get that front half out, then I'll do this repair too. And then I have the little indicator button with the shift positions that fell off on my trip home. So I'll get this cleaned up and glued back on. I think that's about it for now. You know, it looks a lot better. I also see the brake fluid puddles. I just bled all the brakes because I had to change the proportioning valve. It was leaking. This guy here. So this is located about in this area on the inside of the frame rail on the passenger side. It looks like this kind of cup deal is crimped in place, and so it must have some kind of a seal. I assume there's a spring or something in here, but it was dripping, and didn't want to risk driving it with that. Luckily, Roadless Gear is having these remade. So shout out to them. I paid full price for this. You know, they put a lot of effort into having these remade because they weren't available for a long time. And so, you know, I believe in supporting people who are doing the right thing. So I paid full price for this. I didn't want to ask for a discount or, you know, sponsor or anything goofy like that. I want to support the guys who are doing good work. So shout out to them. So yeah, got that fixed. Like I said before, I put a new alternator in it. Well, it was actually not new. It was an old original OEM alternator that was actually out of this car. I try to stay away from AutoZone or O'Reilly's or any of these people because all their rebuilt stuff is just garbage. I put the GM alternator in this one, and I got it from O'Reilly's, and I think I've put at least 3 of them in this thing. And the one that's in it now is making noise. It sounds like it's full of gravel. Garbage. Probably going to end up going to a junkyard and see if I can find just an OEM one to stick in it. I think that's really all I've done. Like I said, next thing is I'm gonna work on this dent some more. I'm gonna build a big kind of question mark shaped hook that'll go through the doorway and around the corner and through that seatbelt opening. And I'll use the winch, you know, from here again to slowly pull on this area. And I'm going to cut a piece of like 3/4 inch plywood to go inside to kind of spread the load, so I can you know, release pressure and push in different areas, but not be pushing directly on the sheet metal, causing high spots. At least that's my plan right now. I got the rocker mostly straight, but it's still got just a little bit of a wow at the very end. So I got to pull that. I might have to build another attachment to get behind there nicely and pull that out too. Trying to get like the main structural areas straight, you know, which would be the rocker, and then this line behind the flare where the outer skin meets the wheel well, or the like the fender box. And that's not quite done yet either. You probably won't be able to see, but there's a little pucker still behind here, but that's partially being held by the rocker. So I'm going to pull on this and try to get that pucker out, and then once that pucker's nice and flat, then that'll tell me that, you know, this is basically back where it should be. Still pondering ideas and how to go about fixing this door without wrecking it, but I'm definitely going to try to fix it. Yeah, so that's it for now. The next video will see me working on that stuff. So thanks for watching. If anybody's got any suggestions or great ideas on this, doing this kind of work, let me know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.